Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the upper tier. It's Thursday, which means only one thing: Thursday Tier Talk. Joining me as always, the Batman to my Robin, Dazzler himself. How are we, Dazzler?
Pew, 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 pew. I'm all right, Niall. Yeah, can't complain too much. Well, there's no point really, if there no one fucking listens. But
That's it.
yeah, listen, just off the back of a fine 2-2 draw at the Camp Nou, at the Spotify Camp Nou. Can't complain. Well, listen, I suppose we could complain. We probably should have scored a couple more, and I think the boy Kunde should have been sent off. But other than that, we've gone away. We haven't been beaten. Scored a couple of goals. The away goals rule doesn't matter anymore. So we're still toy going back to Old Trafford. I think looking at the game tonight, I think we can take them back in Old Trafford. Really do.
Isn't it mad how far La Liga has fallen? When you think
Absolutely.
about the quality there, I was looking at that match tonight. I caught about 3/4 of it, and the
Yeah.
first thing it did was it gave me hope for next week against Real Madrid, although just small bit of hope. But two,
Only a small bit.
I was looking at those players running around tonight, and I was thinking some of those players are on $500 million release clauses, 350 grand a week, and I'm going, why? Why? They're nowhere near that level.
Nowhere near that level. Like I know he got a goal and stuff, but the boy Marcus Alonso wasn't good enough for Chelsea. Why is he at Barca? Do you know what I mean? Ferran Torres was poor when he came on. I don't think Pep Guardiola's letting him out of his sight if he's as big a player as he thought he was going to be. He's a bang average footballer. Yeah, they've fallen from grace a little bit. But as you say, it's not just Barca; it's La Liga on the whole. I was having a peep before I come on about the later scores, and I just happened to stumble upon Sevilla and PSV Eindhoven, and I mean, like, the absolute shite in the Sevilla team is scary. Now, I'm not forgetting they took us to they took a Europa off us a couple of seasons ago, whatever. But
And
like
us,
some of
and
these,
us,
some
and
of the
us.
boys in this team are like, even Rakitic is still playing football.
Yeah.
Right? He must make Luka Modric look young at this stage, right? Really, like, do you know what I mean? Our father time ain't catching up with him. There's so many poor footballers. The lad Brian Kill, who's on loan from Spurs, started for them. We saw him at Spurs. He was really poor.
We
Jesus
didn't.
Navas.
We didn't even say him at Spurs. That's how poor
Well,
he
we
was.
saw moments of him. Jesus Navas, who used to play on the right wing for Manchester City, now plays right of a back five. The chap must be at least 46, like in the bare minimum. He was
Yeah.
there, I
So
think, when Aguero scored the winner, and
Sevilla is somewhat of a retirement home, isn't it? When you see some of the players,
isn't it just? My God, my
absolutely.
God.
Let's take some comments quickly, and then we'll get into the Premier League preview. Morris in the comments, check out
Excuse
GB
me.
Productions podcast, which our friend Dazzler is going to be on later, doing
Pew, pew,
a fantasy
pew.
football for this week.
The
It'll be out
fantasy
tomorrow.
chancer.
Thoughts on Potterball, 2 wins in 14 games. We're going to be talking about him. Don't worry about that. That's for later in the show. And Morris did predict 2-2 under my short today when I was asking for predictions for United and Barcelona. Morris predicted 2-2. Spot on. And Joanne Smith is in the comments. Hello, how are you doing, Joanne? Joanne does be on Warren's show, but she likes an L bet and a prediction. So Warren told her to come on to our show, Beat the Bookie. So she will be giving us her tips and picks for the Premier League action this weekend. So
Good on you,
welcome on
Joanne.
board,
Fair
Joanne.
play to you.
Good to
have you,
there on
pal.
the chat. Now, let's start Premier League preview. So we're going to start, first of all, Aston Villa versus Arsenal.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting, isn't it? Obviously, like, Arsenal have a massive whiff of shit off them at the minute. With the way things have been going, they've well and truly shit the bed. We'll see what they're made of this weekend. This is a legitimate game where Arsenal, if they're going to be title contenders, should be going to win. Obviously, City, you can drop points at City. Very easy to happen. Brentford, we know how good Brentford are, right? They've done a tune on a couple of teams this season, certainly us. So we know what Brentford are about. And Everton, got it right, and Everton got a great response. Sean Dyche got a great response at Everton. So they haven't had 3 giveaways, let's say, but 1 point really, really, really puts the pressure on Mikel Arteta and his squad. This is a game where they need to go and get a result. But for the same token, Unai Emery and Aston Villa on the back of 2 defeats, obviously 3-1 against City last weekend and 4-2 the previous weekend at home against Leicester. So this is must win for Villa, and for Arsenal, this is must win. I think we could see a few goals here, if I'm honest. I really do.
Real open game.
Real open game. Now, listen, I won't lie. If it gets open, it's Arsenal that I suspect will end up on the winning end of this. Special shout out to the boy John Darren, who made his Aston Villa debut last weekend against City. I don't know whether you saw it. He was very good. We spoke about this kid came in. He's a Colombian international. He came from the MLS. I think it was Chicago Fire, and made a real good debut last weekend against Manchester City. He played the last 20 minutes and was unbelievable. I'd be surprised if we don't see more of him this weekend. And yeah, look, I think there's goals here. I think there is goals here. Why don't we go 3-2 Arsenal? Oh, starting off the weekend with a belter of a game. Oh, here we go.
They'll be happy with that. Warren, check out Warren's Team Talk every Saturday. Did a midweeker as well, and he's also covering the 6 Nations with his shows as well. So make sure you subscribe to his channel and check it out. Fantastic channel over there, Warren doing the business. I think you're being very harsh on the United players. The whole Prem is massively overrated, in my opinion. The level of the league is shocking compared to what it was in years gone past.
What did we say about United?
He says he thinks we're being very harsh on the United players. I thought we were bigging them up.
That's what I'm asking you. What did we say about the United players that was harsh? Oh, listen, I'm a United fan. All I said was we should have had a pen, or we should have. Barca boys should have seen a red, and I thought we should have scored more goals. It was 2-2. We should have had 4, but I certainly didn't say anything about them. Listen, I'm happy out. They've gone away to the camp now, and they've got a draw, and we move on to next week. And again, I think we'll turn them over. So I don't know where the harsh comments came from.
Yeah, the only thing I would say to Warren there about that as well is the points totals within the season would suggest that it's not massively overrated. It is without a doubt the best league in Europe by a country mile. Generally speaking, we're seeing Premier League teams getting to the latter stages of most of the European competitions. To the point where I think, what was it, 1 or 2 seasons ago, we nearly had all 4. We're in the semi-final or something like that. So, like, it's I don't know. I think I think that the level in there at the moment, when you think about it, like 95 up is what wins this league now. You know, that's a serious level of play. You know, and again, you look at it. Most of the European places are being filled with points totals that in yesteryear would have won leagues.
The other thing that can say is that I'm able to get 95 points based on how poor the league is around me. Does that make sense? Because if there was teams able to turn teams over in different positions in the league, you wouldn't then have those kind of runaway totals. Like for 2 teams in the league to almost end up at 100 points, it does say somewhere along the line, as good as they've both been, that the league is in parts, a little bit patchy, let's say.
Yeah, but if you look at it, take for instance this season, Arsenal at the halfway point were on roughly 50 points, say for argument's sake, right, which is a very high level to be operating at.
Absolutely.
But up around there as well, you have Newcastle, you've had Brighton, you've had Brentford, you've Spurs, you've all these teams there. It's quite. I mean, if you take, I've said it before, if you take City out of the equation, how competitive is the league? Now I know Liverpool has ran them close a number of seasons. But if you think about it, like even if you start going down into 4th and 5th place, I mean, teams have won this league with 76 points. You know what I mean? 76 points now is kind of what's that around Europa level?
No, it's not. It'll get you top 4.
A little bit higher. It'll get you top 4.
It'll absolutely get you top 4. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I think I think it's serious competition in there and a serious level of football in there.
It's without a doubt the best league in the world. It's just ahead of the championship. But
Joanne in the comments, I've got my predictions ready. Good girl, Joanne. Looking forward to it. And Cheapy back in. Emery ball 3-0 Villa. Good Lord. Morris, not much faith. And Joanne, hello, Warren. Hi, Joe. And Warren's going for 2-1 to the Villa. Not much confidence around these Arsenal boys, man. The Arsenal players look shattered. They do
sure
look shattered.
do.
And we're going to talk about that. I was joking about United. He was trying to tease you out there, Dazzler. And Arsenal 3, Villa 2. That's it, Joanne. I've changed my mind. I think Arsenal will win. Yeah, we've convinced her.
Another
Hope it doesn't cost her bet. And Acers is in. Erling Haaland will be like Forrest saying to himself, feed me goals. That can be the kind of slippery one there that Forrest end up getting a draw or something like that. We've seen it this season. I'm going to get Chad Dick to say a few prayers for Eddie and Kedia. Absolutely. Let's move on quickly then. Brentford versus Palace.
Yeah, I can't really see past Brentford in this game. Obviously, off the back of a pretty good result there last weekend, against Arsenal, and then Palace, struggling at home, probably shouldn't have gotten the draw they got. Obviously, during the week then we got the PGMOL who came out and spoke about the Brighton goal that should have stood and stuff like that, So Palace were a bit lucky to get something out of that. I don't necessarily see it happening this weekend. I'm going 2-0 Brentford. Our boy Ivan Toney getting back on the score sheet like he did last weekend. That would do me nicely. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd worry for Palace, to be honest. Another couple of bad results and they'll find them down in around 100%. And our friend Patrick Vieira might be heading to the job centre himself if it continues, It's not looking good.
You never know. They might be looking for Jesse Marsh since he's now not going to Southampton.
Yeah, that's a mad twist there, wasn't it? Brighton versus Fulham.
Yeah, Brighton will feel a bit hard done by after last weekend. Obviously, not getting the victory that they probably deserved at Palace. Fulham off the back of a good 2-0 home win against Forest. Fulham playing very, very well under Marco Silva. I mean, look at them up at 7 in that league table. Flying. Another 5 points. Fulham are safe. You know what I mean? They're in no sort of a relegation battle. And if you're Fulham and after 26 games, you've got 40 points on the board, isn't it lovely to have the last 12 games to go, do you know what? We can go and just do things here. We can try things on the basis that we know we're safe. With 40 points, we're not going down. And we can just, tick over, maybe try a few new positional senses, a couple of new formations ahead of next season and stuff like that. Start eyeing up what's going on down the road in August and stuff like that. Really nice for Fulham and Marco Silva, I have to say. Fulham will put up a real good fight here. However, I just think Brighton will be boiled by the fact that they didn't get that result last weekend, and that'll spur them on. And I'm going to say this is 2-1 to the Brighton and Hove Albion.
Interesting. Chelsea versus Southampton. This is one we're going to be talking about in a bit. We're going to be talking about Chelsea and Graham Potter and stuff like that. It's one of our topics. But Chelsea versus Southampton, this is a must win, isn't it?
It's must win for both of them. Obviously Chelsea last weekend not managing to get over the line against West Ham in the early kickoff, and then Southampton going a goal up and probably thinking we're onto something here. We might just get this victory that's going to lead us a little bit closer to safety. And then obviously Wolves were able to turn things around, get a couple of late goals, nick it off them. You've got to be thinking this has Chelsea written all over it, doesn't it? Has to.
Yeah.
This is a game. This is a game where Chelsea could go and with, not as much pressure on them and go and put a performance in. Now, I got to say, I did see the highlights of Chelsea Dortmund the other night. For my money, Chelsea were the better team. Dortmund scored. Chelsea didn't. It's the only difference. They haven't been good enough in front of goal. But their performance was quite good in their defence. And I think on another night, they probably win that game. So do I think they'll struggle against Southampton at home? I'm going to say no. I think they're going to win this. And I think they're going to win it comfortably. And I'm going to say, are you ready now? I got a big one for you here, yeah? You ready? Chelsea 4, Southampton 0.
Our boy Ian off the Chelsea Raw will be very happy with your prediction tonight. He'll be all over that.
And listen, And you know me, I don't pander to anyone. If I thought Chelsea were going to get stuffed, I would tell you. I firmly believe, with the way Chelsea played the other night, if they rock up on Saturday with a similar formation, similar players, and a similar attitude, they'll score goals and they'll put Southampton to the sword.
Well, here's a prediction for you. I think Southampton are going to be boiled by our friend leaving the building, the man who wouldn't face the Undertaker at WrestleMania, Nathan Jones. But I think this is going to be very, very tight. And dare I say, Southampton might nick a point with James Ward.
No, stop.
That's what I'm going out there. That's what I'm going for. I'm worried about Chelsea at the moment.
Do we even know who's going to be in charge of Southampton yet?
Just make James Ward-Prowse player manager. Be grand.
Little player manager. Send him in. I'm on the free kicks in the corners, lads. Everyone else pull in the right direction. Will be golden. Maybe. You never know.
There, I'd say they could do worse than now Matt Letizia if he wasn't so controversial in his ideas.
No, I was going to say no, they couldn't. Matt Letizia is
Shades of Hoddle. Remember Shades of Hoddle when he lost it with his ideas as well.
Yeah, he was going into Eileen Drury together to do a bit of faith healing on the squad and stuff. Yeah,
a man who aged rapidly last night in his podcast, who was not happy with last night. The man is in the house. Del Boy Gunner TV. Del Boy, what is the crack?
Good evening, Derek. Welcome.
We will be talking about the title race shortly, so stick around. We want to get your thoughts on it. It's going to be interesting. Warren's in. He says, I'm going to make a very controversial prediction. Okay, I'm looking forward to that one. And Morris back in again. Saints are on about keeping the interim. Yeah, absolutely. An easy win for Bazunu. I wouldn't get that far. Joanne's coming in with Brentford 2, Crystal Palace 1. Yeah, not a bad shot.
Yeah, I think 2-1. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I'm going Brighton as well, Joanne. Joanne's following too. Here she is, I'm telling you. She knows what she's doing. She's listening to Dazzler.
She has the ear to the ground. Acers, a massive congratulations to the tribal chief on 900 days as undisputed champion. Oh my God. Tell you.
Acers, I won't lie. I didn't think I was going to laugh much tonight, but that started me off. Keep it coming, Acers. Come on.
Keep it coming. And Joanne's back in as well. Chelsea 2, Southampton 2. Big draw for the Saints at the Bridge. Warren, Arsenal will finish 5th if we are lucky. Arteta can't cope with teams who are tactically well organised and teams have worked us out.
5th.
That's a
You're 12 points ahead of Spurs. And you've a game in hand. No way. Absolutely no way.
Morris back in. Potter is arrogant, leaving Abba at home. Havertz up top. Give me a break. Not a bad shout.
Morris, you know absolutely right that he is right to leave him at home. He's an absolute, oh my God. He's a degenerate. He's a boil on the arse of society, that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He shouldn't be allowed into Stamford Bridge with a ticket. Fucking degenerate. Get him out of there.
Back in at Del Boy Gunner TV. How are you, buddy? Also check out Del's channel. Some good stuff on there. Lads were going ballistic last night. Acers back in. Leicester will draw at Old Trafford. Bet of the weekend. Since they got a draw there,
they got a draw there last weekend or last year.
I know, but since Acers has been predicting these United results, I don't think he's gotten too many right, has he?
No, he doesn't get much right, God bless him. I know he knew, obviously, the tribal chief at 900,000 charge, but he gets quite a lot wrong, our Aces. I remember, obviously, we were going to be singing Blue Moon and something else, and yeah, he's way off, God bless him. In fact, you know what I would say? Anyone that's listening to the podcast, when Acers gives out a tip, you going back the complete opposite, and you should be quids in. Thank you,
Eno's in the comments. Probably has both of us on the flat screen at the moment. What's the crack, Niall? All good, Eno. He'll be delighted you're here, Darren. Every time I do a podcast, he's looking for you.
Good man, Eno. Like it, pal.
Everton versus Leeds. Probably the most exciting game of the weekend.
Do you know what? I've said this for a few weeks. I still think Leeds are going to be all right. I've got to be honest. I think they've a lot going on. Leeds, they really, really do. You know, they've got some really good footballers. And I know you can't say a team is too good to go down, but I think Leeds have more than enough to stay in this league. I really do. I just heard earlier on Dominic Calvert-Lewin is still out injured. Everton probably again without a recognised striker. I know they played the boy Maupe up at times, but he's been very, very poor since he's come in there. And he was a guy we thought highly of as well, but doesn't seem to be working out from Everton. Obviously, Rondon left the building. Calvert-Lewin is out injured. I see Leeds winning this game. I really do.
Wes Sims up front for them, isn't it? He's not at that
Is
level,
it?
sure he's not.
Ellis Sims.
Yeah. Or Ellis Sims, sorry, yeah. He played.
Ellis
Wes
Sims.
Sims,
He was
he's the American footballer, isn't he? Wes Sims.
I don't know. I was like, who's he?
I think he's an American footballer, yeah.
Is he? Ellis Sims was on loan at Sunderland and got called back. Was doing well at Sunderland, in fairness to the kid. Young lad.
7 and 17 or something he had.
Right, yeah. Big kid, physical presence. Will do well in the air and stuff like that. And, we know obviously Liam have the boy, or we know Leeds have the boy Cooper playing for them at the back at times. So you never know, you might get a few cheap ones. But I think Leeds put in a great performance at Old Trafford. Didn't manage to get after the line, but I think Leeds will score a couple at the weekend. I don't think Everton have 2 goals in them. I'm going Leeds here. I'm going 2-1 Leeds, which will be a nice price.
This is where you both differ. Joanne's going with an Everton 2-0 win against Leeds at Goodison.
Is she an Evertonian though?
No, she's a Gooner.
She's a Gooner.
Arsenal.
Niall,
fan, yeah.
Hold on a minute. How have you managed to unearth the 42 Gooners that populate this little island? Like what? Jesus Christ! Every time you bring someone onto the show, they're a Gooner. A fucking Gooner. Are you mad?
There you go.
This is what Arsenal TV did to these people. My God.
We're in trouble tonight. The man is in the house as well. The Dino is in the house. Love to be the meat in a sambo with you two hunks. Hashtag FSG.
Anytime, sweetheart. Hugs and kisses.
We know. It's only a timing thing. Forest versus Man City.
Yeah, listen, I think this is going to be a little bit closer than everybody thinks, These are the kind of games that City have slipped up on all season. The games where they were expected to come out and thump teams and stuff like that. Other than Arsenal, obviously, they managed to do that. But I think against Forest have been very, very good of late. Another clean sheet last weekend. They obviously got a 1-0 win against... no, they didn't. They lost 2-0 last weekend. Sorry, I'm thinking about the weekend before. Clean sheet the weekend before at home against Leeds. This is we said their home form is going to be key to them staying in this division. I think they'll frustrate City, but I think City will just about get over the line. And I am going to go Manchester City 3, Forest 1. There.
And probably Forest taking the lead.
Well, Forest certainly making it interesting. I wouldn't be surprised to see 1-1 at the 60th minute or something like that, And then City obviously having to bring on a few boys, make a few changes to try and nick something.
I suppose if Arsenal do the business at Villa earlier in the day, they could ratchet up the pressure a little bit, maybe.
They could. Yeah.
Yeah. Wolves versus Bournemouth.
Yeah, Wolves obviously flying under Julian Lopetegui. Really, really flying. Another good win last weekend away at Southampton.
With 10 men as well. With 10 men.
With 10 men, right? So, yeah, really good result. And I just think Lopetegui's getting a nice little tune out at the minute. I was actually having a little look at Wolves because not this game week, but the following game week, Wolves have 2 games. And there's 4 teams in the division that don't play at all. United being one of them and Newcastle being one of them because of the Carabao Cup. So for fantasy football purposes, I was having to look ahead. So I've actually brought in the boy Neves this week on the basis that he's got 2 games the following week and we need guys playing games and stuff like that, But listen, I think Wolves have been great. Very, very tidy at the back. Jose Sa, Max Kilman, Ait Nuri, guys putting in big, big performances. Obviously, Neves has been phenomenal in midfield for them. Really has. And our boy Adama popping up with an assist now and again and just, managing to get just getting 1 or 2 a game, which if they can keep it tight at the back, they can nick games here and there. They'll beat enough teams to stay in this league, Wolves. And I think they'll beat Bournemouth at the weekend doing the exact same sort of thing. I'm going to go 2-1 to Wolves.
Yeah, and Podence being a great option for them as well. He's having a decent season as well.
Sure is.
Warren in the comments. Kyle Walsh was on fire last night. His scream was literally rocking when he started shouting. It was unreal. They absolutely lost it last night. Check out it on Del Boy TVs. Del Boy Gunner TV's channel there, that match reaction. The boys were passionate as hell. Warren's going for a 1-0 Everton against Leeds. And Morris in the house. Cooper still level on goals with Aubameyang. And Joanne's back in. Nottingham Forest 1, Man City 4. Yeah, similar thinking to Darren. And Eno's in the house. It's Daz O'Clock, ladies and gentlemen. Get in there, straight into the back of the net. Good fella yourself.
Thanks, Eno.
Joanne's agreeing with you as well. A 2-0 win against Bournemouth for the Wolves.
I think so, yeah.
Warren's back in. Arsenal are taking over Ireland. Don't forget, in the 1970s, Arsenal had 7 Irishmen in the team. Pat Jennings, Pat Rice, David O'Leary, Liam Brady. Shout out to Liam Brady. It was his birthday this week as well. Sammy Nelson, Frank Stapleton, and John Devine. Yeah, absolutely.
I've met 4 of those lads. I've met 4 of those Arsenal lads.
Who have you met?
One of which, I've met Pat Jennings, David O'Leary, Liam Brady, and Frank Stapleton.
Nice.
Something I need to share with anyone who doesn't know this. I'll tell you where I met Pat Jennings. I met Pat Jennings in Mount Juliet Golf Club. And we were playing in a little charity kind of event down there back when I was hitting golf balls. And I met Pat Jennings in the clubhouse. Now, as you know, I'm not a small guy, right? But standing next to Pat Jennings, and then when he put out his hand to shake my hand, I just felt like I took me willy up me bumhole, because his hands were like shovels. Now,
Callaway Big Bear, the drivers.
Oh my God. I was like, and this was, I was a bit younger, you know, and one of the lads was like, oh, this is Pat played, you know, for Arsenal. I was like, oh, Pat, how are you doing? Now, recognised him, you know, because obviously would have watched a bit of stuff with my dad when I was younger and stuff like that. But when he shook me hand, straight away, I just felt so insignificant as a person. I was like, my God, you know, this man should be selling hugs, because these hands were like fucking shovels. They were huge.
He still didn't win the drive of the day, though, did he? I'm sure you took that, did you?
He fucking sure didn't, you know. He sure didn't.
Morris wants to know, has anyone seen Martin Odegaard since yesterday? And Acers is back in the comments as well. Dazzler, are you at Old Toilet next Thursday for Barcelona? He means Old Trafford, I would presume. I don't think
I'm not, you know. I'm not. No, I'm not back for a few weeks. I'm busy working. Busy, all go, you know yourself.
Sure, isn't he going to be here, Acers?
This is it.
And Warren, also another factor in the Villa versus Arsenal match is Unai Emery. That's a huge
absolutely
factor. Huge
sure is
factor. And he used to be known as shovel hands. Yeah, absolutely.
His fucking hands were. It was like high five and a fucking grizzly bear. I was like, what the? I just looked at myself and went, you need to go and just sit in the toilet on your own for a few minutes in the cubicle and just, like, you know, cower in the corner just in case Pat looks at you. Fucking
you got to remember, for years as well, these lads were saving balls that weighed about 20 stone on a wet, rainy day.
And they'd no gloves on. And some of them had no gloves on, you know?
Absolutely. Let's go. Newcastle versus Liverpool. I'd love it if we bet them. There, I say.
I would love it if we beat them. Do you know what? I've got to be honest. I think it's got draw written all over it. I think it's got draw written all over it. I think Newcastle, obviously, at the minute, I don't, you know, they're not hitting their straps the way they were earlier on in the season. Since they got to that Carabao Cup final, things have stagnated a little bit there. A few injuries and stuff like that. They've been a little unlucky at times as well. They just haven't hit their straps. I think he'll be keen to make sure, you know, he picks something up in this game, gives them a positive outlook going into the following week, which is the Carabao Cup final. I don't think he'll want to be beaten at home before the cup final. I think that would be huge. But I think Liverpool will probably put a better performance in than they have recently. Obviously, the Everton game was a turn up for them. I think, you know, I see this being 1-1. I really do. I think it's got 1-1 written all over it. And that's, if I was a betting man, that's where I'd be going with it.
Yeah, I did a preview for the game earlier. It's up on the channel.
Mm-hmm.
I went 2-1 Liverpool, but I think it will be tight. I don't think we'll get the 4-3 spectacular, hysterical sort of result.
Absolutely not.
One thing I would say is Newcastle, they have looked a little bit dare I say, fatigued in recent weeks. 5 draws out of 6 in their last games and stuff like that. So they have been
Yeah.
struggling somewhat. And I would also preface that by saying some of those draws, they were lucky to get draws. Bournemouth could have easily done them last week. Dom Solanke had a great chance to win it for Bournemouth and just missed out and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that the Liverpool that showed up on Monday could potentially show up on Saturday after evening, but I wouldn't bank on it because it hasn't happened so far this season.
And the other thing I would say is if the same Liverpool shows up against Newcastle as did the Everton, they won't get a win. Because while I think you are value for money for your win against Everton, I think it's going to take an awful lot more to beat a side like Newcastle with where they are at the minute and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, and also we have the little matter of Real Madrid next week as well.
So what does he go in with? Because, you know, at the minute you're looking at that league table and you're saying it's unlikely you're getting top 4, right? So then do you throw all your eggs in the basket of the Champions League?
A win on Saturday will put us within 6 of Newcastle with a game in hand. So
right, okay,
it's not inconceivable.
It's not inconceivable,
but it is a stretch.
Especially if nothing else, if you just look at their form, if they were picking up win and playing well, and
but I suppose with them playing Carabao Cup next weekend as well, we'll be playing a match as well. So in theory, we could bring it down to within 3 with a game. You
sure could, you know.
Well, it wouldn't be a game in hand.
No, it wouldn't be a game in hand. You'd be within 3 of them. But
yeah,
again, that means beating Newcastle, and that means winning your game in hand. An awful lot to do, you know.
Yeah, and we haven't shown it so far this season, so we shall see.
Absolutely.
But it's a huge game.
Yeah.
United versus Leicester.
I tell you, I'm so happy that this is at Old Trafford because I really wouldn't like the idea of going to the Chris Bowl this weekend. Leicester obviously on the back of 2 great wins. They've absolutely butchered Spurs and Villa. Put 4 past both of them the last couple of weeks. I think it's a big game for us. We really need a win here at home. There's no time for us to stagnate. If Arsenal drop points, we need to make sure that we're on their coattails. So I feel this is a huge game for United. I think we'll see a very similar team that started tonight. You know, obviously Casemiro will come out and Sabitzer will come back in, and you know Martinez will probably come back in because he was suspended tonight, and maybe he might start the boy Garnacho and stuff like that. But I think it'll be a similar enough team and with similar ideas. There's goals in this game, and I am a bit wary of Leicester the way they've been scoring. Now, the only thing I will say is they haven't put together 3 results like this in a while. So the fact that they've got 2, they've pushed themselves up the league. Maybe they'll decide we can rest our laurels now for a week or 2. That can be the hope. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. I think they did well in the window as well. Got a few bodies in. I'm just going to go 2-1 United. But again, I think it's going to be very similar to that day against Palace, where it's going to be squeaky bum time towards the end of it, and we're playing into that stretch for the end, looking for them to suck that ball in for it. You know what I mean? I'll say 2-1 United, but it won't be easy. Leicester playing well at the minute.
Yeah, it's like a few comments and catch up. Warren, I remember seeing a guy hitting a ferocious shot against Pat Jennings, and he saved it with one hand. Absolutely.
Doesn't shock me.
Warren's going like me, 2-1 to Liverpool. Appreciate that, Warren. Hope it happens. And Ian's in, Morris will have that fella that was once a horseman. Yes, I'm talking about Paul Roma. Looking forward to it. And Warren's in, Newcastle 4 or Newcastle 4-4. Can't see that. Neither team is operating at that level. Acers, Real Madrid will relish destroying Liverpool at Anfield on Pancake Day. Glad you said that now, Acers, because with the results that you've been getting recently, it looks like Liverpool might get the win.
Do we think Acers might even tell us what football team he supports? I don't think he's furnished us with those details. He likes going in on United and he likes going in on Liverpool. But he hasn't necessarily let us know which team is his, you know?
Sounds like a Burton Albion man, doesn't he?
No, do you know what I'd say? He's worse. I'd say he's a fucking Celtic fan. Fucking hell.
United will finish second, 3-0 win against Leicester. And Eno's back.
Warren, that would be music to my ears, I won't lie.
Sorry, fellas, the flat screen is out of bounds. Internet down due to high winds. High winds. And Joanne's going Newcastle 3-0.
Jesus.
Oh, Joanne, don't say that. Although Joanne was kind of predicting an Everton win as well. So on Monday, so I'm okay. I'll hold I'll keep my powder dry till then. And Warren, hi Ian, hope you're okay. He's all good. And Joanne's going for a big draw at Old Trafford, 2-2. Tell you,
That's what the
money to be
ballerina
made
said.
today.
2-2.
Yeah. And Acers, don't follow any team. Just watch football.
I was waiting on that. Were you waiting on that? Were you waiting on that? Yeah.
Warren wants to know what's wrong with Celtic.
The team that played down the road that beat them. They play in a fucking farmers league, and their fans are full of shy. Fucking hell, crowing about being a big football club. Crowing about being a big football club and playing Partick Thistle and St Mirren Monday and Tuesday. Fuck and right off, will you?
Liverpool season is already finished since August. Interesting thought that now. I don't know, because we were okay. We beat City in the Community Shield and everything and all. Things were looking good. And then Canate played against Strasbourg for some reason and died of death. Let's round it out. Tottenham versus West Ham.
Yeah, this is I'm not looking forward to this. I won't lie. These are two football teams. Conte's still in Italy on his holiday. Heading down to Lake Garda, I think, to try and do a little bit with the tan. He looked a bit peaky at the San Siro the other night. Himself and Spurs and West Ham are just two really horrible teams to watch play football, aren't they? They're just so uneasy on the eye. It's scary. Absolutely pumped last weekend away at Leicester. West Ham getting a draw against Chelsea when they were probably there for the taking. I see Spurs nicking this maybe 2-1, but again, I don't think this will be one to tune into. I won't lie. Although I do know our friend Graham Cummins is going to that game now on Sunday.
Yeah, he's heading over to it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, sure is.
So I wonder, is that the kiss of death? Should we be looking at 2-1
West Ham? Graham will bring them a bit of good luck. It'll be 2-1 to Spurs, I reckon.
I suppose the upside is Spurs have been playing much better when Conte isn't on the sideline. So that'll probably help.
What a horrible, horrible person he is. My God. Jesus.
Joanne's back in. Nothing wrong with Celtic and Ian. I don't get into football politics. Just watch the game.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Acers, I have Scottish sense. And Warren, be careful, Dazzler. Watch your back. The boyos will be looking for you.
The boyos all know where I live. They're grand.
Morris.
They're not that fucking stupid.
Morris is in. Celtic and Rangers are small clubs. That's all.
He's not wrong.
And Ian, come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
And Acers, I hate Scottish football, just like watching League of Ireland garbage.
Oh, Jesus.
He's gone all in
there. I reckon League of Ireland, between top and bottom, is a better league than Scotland, top to bottom. Because let's be honest, if you take Celtic and Rangers out of Scotland, the rest of them are absolute dog shit, right? Whereas at least in the Airtricity, is it still called the Airtricity these days? You wouldn't know. They change things like that in this country, don't they? The point was the O2. The O2 was the Trey Arena. They're just looking to bleed and complicate things for us. That building down by the docks. The Scottish League is poison. Absolute poison. I think I'd watch Airtricity before. There you go. Put it out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too sure whether I'd plop on it that bad, but flip of a coin. Warren's back in. I'm sorry, Dazzler. Celtic 1967, mate. And in the man in green shirt. And Morris is back. Stephen Kenny, the face for Irish football, says it all. Did a stint in Dunfermline as well, dare I say?
Sure did.
Just put that out there as well. Right, let's get into this. Nowhere to start tonight, but title race. Talk to me about the title race. And I'm not letting you off the hook tonight, because we're going to talk about United as well. But at the moment, looking at this, City have got their noses in front, albeit by goal difference, I think it is. And Arsenal have a game in hand. When you look down through that there, is this title race going to stick between Man City and Arsenal? Are United going to play a card in this game? Or what way do you see this whole thing panning out?
Right, well, let's let's go with it, right? Let's look at it where we are. So, okay, I reckon City win their first game. Yeah. And I think Arsenal have a tougher game this weekend. I've backed them for the win, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them drop points. So let's just say they win again. We're level, right? Away at Leicester, it's a tough game. Don't forget, Leicester in good form. Let's say they drop a couple of points there. City go away to Bournemouth. They're too clear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Newcastle put up a good fight. Maybe nick a draw against City. Maybe. Right? Should have beaten them earlier on the season. Arsenal go and win at Everton. We're back level. They beat Bournemouth at home. City beat Palace away. I think they struggle away at Fulham. Got to be honest, it's a place where a lot of teams have struggled. You guys didn't get a result. Chelsea didn't get a result. We got a result very, very late in the day. The boy Garnacho with the last kick of the ball nearly just before the World Cup. And I think City beat West Ham. So I reckon, at that stage, we're looking at City 2 points clear and Arsenal a game in hand, which could put them back top of the pops.
Interesting.
So for the next 5, I'm gonna go 3 and 2. Sorry, 3, 1, 3. I reckon Arsenal take 11 out of that. 11. And I think City will take 13.
Yeah, the away ties there for Arsenal. The away games are tough ones. Away to Villa, away to Leicester, away to Fulham are tough. Yeah. I'd expect them to beat Bournemouth and Everton handy enough in the Emirates. City tend not to have that kind of thing. They tend to be reasonably good. Obviously, the Newcastle one, but again, it depends. It depends where Newcastle are at that stage, And I suppose if
Newcastle, don't forget this, because as you look at that, right, the game against Forest is this weekend. The game against Bournemouth is next weekend. So that Newcastle match is Newcastle's first game after the Carabao Cup final. Now, this either goes one of 2 ways, right? If they win the Carabao Cup, they're probably out all week and they don't show up against City at all. But makes no odds because they've just won a Carabao Cup and City are possibly going to win the league. So we can write that one off, yeah? Whereas if they win it, if they lose it, they could also come out with our heads and try and, put a bit into it, maybe try and nick a win against City to say, we didn't lift the cup, but we're still alive and we're still kicking and we're still pushing on towards the end of the season, looking for that top 4 spot, So I think the Carabao Cup final might even play a part in that game, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Warren's back in the comments. How many clubs in England can win the Prem? Only 2, max. Farmers League as well. He's making that point against your point about the Scottish League or whatever.
Well, we know that's not right, though, Warren, do we? City could win this. Arsenal could win it. United could win it. Generally, season to season, Chelsea are in the mix. Liverpool have been in the mix. Spurs have been in and around it, finished second in the league. So that's not true. And don't forget, the team that's bottom of the Premier League right now probably beat Celtic and Rangers home and away. So let's not forget about that.
Not about you. Morris thinking we need to win the next 7, Morris reckons. Interesting.
Good look at that.
Take it week by week. Yeah, I don't see that happening. And Acer, City already have the Premier League title wrapped up. I wouldn't go that far yet. I'm not a million miles away from that, but I wouldn't go that far yet. And Morris, everything is the game in hand too, which is crucial. Yeah, absolutely. And Acers, Arsenal will struggle to get wins at Newcastle, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man City.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they'll struggle as much. I don't know. I'm not too sure.
Listen, they're certainly 4 tricky. They're certainly 4 tricky games, right?
Absolutely, that could go either way. Yeah, and Acers, City will win the Premier League and FA Cup double this season,
unless they get drawn against United at Old Trafford, because we know how to beat them there.
That could happen. Now, just before we move on from this slide, I want to chat about more title picture. Yeah. United, you're a United fan. How are you feeling at the moment, title picture wise?
It would take an awful lot for me to feel like we were in the race. Is it completely out of the way that we can't mount the challenge? No, I don't think it is. Obviously, we've a couple of injuries and suspensions and bits and bobs at the minute, but generally the squad is coming together nicely. It's a time when, in previous years, you would have started hitting their straps towards the end of the season and stuff like that. If we could put a run together, we're absolutely in the race. Do I necessarily see it when we mix it in with the Carabao Cup, when we mix it in with the Europa, when we mix it in with the FA Cup? No, because I think the squad's a little bit thin for it. I think we'll come up short, but I certainly think third is what we should be aiming for. And if Arsenal fall a little further, we might even nick second. And I would be delighted with second or third in the league this year. I would be absolutely delighted. So for me, right now, it's a no. I think my issue is not necessarily catching Arsenal; it's catching City.
Yeah. So here's another way of looking at this, and I wanted to ask you this as well. If you were 5 points off top four, would you be in a top four race?
It would depend who was ahead of you and how they were playing, wouldn't it?
But because
you would have to look at. Well, you would have to look at what teams were ahead of you. I feel like obviously with the way things have gone for Arsenal in the last couple of weeks, that maybe with a couple of missteps, like the way they've had them, we could possibly catch up with Arsenal. I don't necessarily see that being possible with City. I just think City are going to start putting the afterburners on soon, and just start going through games and churning out wins This is what they do. They know how to win league titles up there in the empty head. They just don't have fans to celebrate them in front of. But they definitely know how to win them.
Eno said he sent us the clip on YouTube. The St. Pat's fan, the fella in the green and white shirt.
I remember.
Has been interviewed on at the Lewis track. Yeah. Hilarious.
Yeah.
And Ace was back in. West Ham will knock United out of the FA Cup. Big call.
Shaking in our boots now.
United are in the mix. They really needed to get 6 from the Leeds games, though.
What? To be honest, and you'll obviously you'll remember because we spoke about it. I thought we'd get 4, but I thought we'd get 3 at home and 1 away. We went about it the opposite way around. We got 1 at home and 3 away. 4 points, move on, keep it ticking over. I'm happy out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Ian's in the comments, what's the crack, Warren? And Warren's back in again. Sorry, Dazzler, that's not true, and you know it, mate. Normally, City and Liverpool would only be likely contenders. Arsenal, United, and the rest are nowhere near winning the league.
You're miles out there, Warren. That's mental. Yeah. Sure, Arsenal are in the title race. United aren't a million miles away from the title race. Chelsea have just spent, $500 million on players. They're going to be looking for more next season. And Spurs, as we know, have the likes of Kane and Son and stuff like that. And in recent years, they think Southampton are bottom of the Premier League right now. Southampton beat Celtic home and away for me because they're a much better quality of player. Like, how many of those players from that Celtic team do you take out and you put into teams in the Premier League? There's not too many. Let's be honest here. Is Joe Hart going to walk into too many teams down in England? He's fucking not, Yeah, he's going to probably lift a league title up at Celtic because it's Sunday League football. So don't be coming at me with that, Warren.
I'm probably a Golden Glove.
And a Golden Glove and a Scottish Cup and a fucking FBD Farmers Insurance fucking title. Stop, Warren, will you? Stop. Give us a break.
Shout out to everyone on the chat. Good man. Joanne's back in as well. I would have a bet on United to win the league. I said it a few weeks ago, Joanne. I wouldn't rule them out at all, and I wouldn't be shocked at all. Warren also Celtic, if they came to play in England, they would be challenging to win the Prem. Stop.
Warren, you need to stop doing the drugs, Warren. They're bad for you. Drugs are bad. Kids, anyone listening at home, drugs are bad for you. And do not do what Warren is doing, because drugs, they are really bad for you. They wreck your life. Warren, it's a naughty thing to do. Stop that, Warren.
I reckon. I don't think. I'll be honest with you here, and I'm going to call it now. I don't think Celtic would even challenge for the championship.
Not a fucking chance. Michael Carrick and his Middlesbrough would absolutely destroy Celtic. Destroy them.
Yeah. Big up, Daz. How are you, my friend? Big up, Niall, and guess we will catch up to City and Arsenal.
Guess.
I think we might catch up there. Guess, yeah. It's terrible. Dad, you're letting him down. He's here every week putting in those good hours. Who's this new boy Dazzler?
Jesus.
And Ace, there's 2 Japanese players. That's it.
Which 2?
Warren back in.
Jota doesn't get into a team. Will you stop?
Unless
Kyogo,
it's Diogo.
possibly.
Unless it's Diogo.
No, Kyogo Furuhashi possibly gets into a team, but not to any of the decent teams. And Jota gets into no teams. He's shocking, man. Absolutely. Are you watching any of this, Warren? Like, honest to God, this is the shittiest football league in the world.
God, you got
Fucking
it
hell.
right there. God, and we on these
Oh
shores
my
we've the Northern Ireland
God.
League and everything. Good Lord, Acer's back in. Warren needs to go to Specsavers. Not a
Yeah.
chance. It's the man.
Snoop
Morris.
Dogg in your
Snoop
gaff.
Dogg in your gaff, Warren. Snoop Dogg. Good Lord. And Joanne back in. What do you think of a Super League?
Well, I tell you what, Joanne, if there is a Super League, Celtic and fucking Rangers won't be in it. And that's for a fact. They'll still be
Here,
playing St. Mirren and Dunfermline and fucking Inverness, Caledonian Thistle on a plastic pitch on a Tuesday night in piss and rain. Fuck off, Celtic and Rangers. What a bag of shite.
this leads me into an interesting one when this whole Super League thing came up this week and last week mainly. And the beautiful timing of the Premier League going out and flexing his muscle, then going saying, we just signed a $500 million deal with EA. And that shut it down straight away, didn't it? So anyone who was thinking of leaving the Prem's going, $500 million to be shared out just because of a game. Happy days.
And the boys in Spain and Italy. It's okay, we'll go without the English teams. Go ahead, enjoy yourselves. Enjoy playing PSV Eindhoven on a Thursday night. Fuck off, will you? Seriously.
Right,
Jesus.
Warren reckons here's a very good point now. 5 years with Premier League financial backing would be challenging. If Celtic came down into the Premier League and had 5 years of the finances, I suppose it depends on where they'd be in the league, because if you look at it, I mean, if you think about it, Southampton has been in there and had X amount of years of the Premier League financial backing. Yeah, I don't know. What you think?
What guarantee? Well, tell me what guarantees them to be challenging. What guarantees them? Like what players do they attract? What managers do they attract? Like who the fuck wants to live in Scotland? That's not, you know what I mean? The further north you go in the UK, the more difficult teams find it to sign players. This is one of the reasons Newcastle have difficulty, even though they got money in their bank. They want to go after players, and players like, well, actually, I don't mind heading over to the UK, but I really don't want to go to fucking Newcastle. Now, we know that to be true, right? This has always been the case.
Well, that's why London. That's why London has been.
Middlesbrough.
That's why London has been such a powerhouse in football.
Right.
You know, if you take London as a whole, as a region, like, you know, so
listen.
Yeah. Eno in the comments. Shout out to all three of my daughters, Alison, Catherine, and Alexandra, and my darling wife. Shout out to the Eno family out there, always tuning in with them, watching the podcast and stuff like that. I know we had a little bit of a lonely Valentine's. The good wife is away at the moment, but she'll be back shortly, and I know he was missing her.
Nothing like a bit of peace and quiet, you know. Hope you enjoyed it, pal.
Warren Dazzler, what have you been smoking?
Yeah, it's me, Warren. It's me. Everyone going in on you, and it's me. Stop,
Warren.
Please.
Warren, Dazzler's on the reality pipe.
You are making yourself look silly now, pal. Stop that now.
Joanne in the comments, are you looking forward to being taken over by some camel dung dealers at United so they sort your shitty ground out? They're firing shots at you tonight, aren't they? We haven't even got near news or beat the bookie yet. You know?
Haven't even touched on it. You know what, Joanne? I'll be absolutely fucking delighted when the Qatari boys own us. I'll be absolutely delighted. You know that? Because it means I don't have to listen to anyone pissing moan about the Glazers. When we don't win something, people can't say, "Oh, it's because of the Glazers. It's because of this. It's because of that." If you were in our stadium, have you been in our stadium recently, Joanne? Because I've been there recently, so I don't think you can make that call on a shitty stadium. I'm gonna throw that at you, yeah.
I don't. Plus, it's not as bad as people try to make out. That's for sure.
Listen, this is mental carry on. Absolutely mental carry on. People talking about it like that. It's still one of the premier, grounds in English football. Like other than Spurs, you know what I mean? I wouldn't trade it in for much.
If it could just get a bit of Wi-Fi, it'd be great.
Wi-Fi is pretty bad, isn't it?
Put Wi-Fi into it, yeah, absolutely.
The Wi-Fi is pretty bad, isn't it?
Every time you're over there, I can never get in touch with you.
I'll take the boys with the tea towels all day long. Can't wait for it. Qatari royal family, come on in and spend your billions. The Dazzler is waiting on you.
Absolutely. And Acers is reckons crack. And Morris is back in. Do you think Celtic could attract Mason Mount? Morris, I hope they do, because I was reading an article. Did you read the article the other day that apparently if we don't get Jude Bellingham, our second option is Mason Mount?
He's supposedly very high on your list. Yeah, I was reading part of that already.
Someone please
That would
sign him
be,
quick.
do you know what?
Quickly.
That would just be music to my fucking ears. I won't lie. I would love that.
And Zainuddin is in. Hi guys, how are you, my friend?
ZZ.
There we go.
How's ZZ top? Hi ZZ.
And then Joanne's back in. United ground is from the dark ages.
It's not though, Joanne, is it? It's not. And you've no
More
clue
dark,
what you're talking about either.
more
'Cause when
dark
was
arts
the
than
last
dark
time you were there?
ages.
When was the last
God, it
time you
was-
were there, Joanne, to tell me that? Just throw that out there, won't you? Let us know in the
was-
comments below. Thanks.
God, it was for years. It was an unbelievable ground, wasn't it?
Oh, but we
Wow.
listened to Jim White on Talksport, and he said it's not a nice stadium. You know what Jim White knows about? Fuck all as well, right? Telling
We
you.
even robbed his yellow toy off him for deadline day. Morris back in. It's a bit dated like the Emirates, but we have done a bit of work to our stadium lately. And Acer's back in. Old Trafford is looking like a rust bucket. Jesus Christ. This is listen, guys, you have a guy here on the podcast at the moment who goes over there nearly once a month.
Spot the people who don't leave their mother's box rounds. Spot them right away. Fact. Absolute fact. Would you mind putting down that sock and those wipes and get out of your mammy's bedroom? The fuck out of here, will you? Wrong with you
Bellingham
people.
was asked to sign for Liverpool. He broke out laughing. Broke out laughing all the way to the bank. Right. Let's have a quick chat, a few other bits.
Just rock back a bit there. Is that the Jurassic Park t-shirt?
It's a Daddy Saurus one, yeah. Daddy Saurus.
Nice.
She got it for me
I
for
like
Father's Day or whatever it was, yeah. Absolutely. Joanne back in. When was the last time United ground was updated? Listen, it needs a bit of work, but like it's not falling asunder. We're not talking.
We only opened the quadrant like 5-6 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Another quadrant. Like Old Trafford now is still miles ahead of the Emirates. Much bigger stadium, way better atmosphere, and way better fans, and more fucking knowledgeable as well. Let's not forget. Just throw that out there as well.
I passed by it a few years back, and it looked like it needs a bit of paint though. It might need a lick of paint, but like a lick of paint doesn't mean it's
a lick of paint. Now. Well, I've heard it all now. A lick of fucking paint. Oh Jesus, that's.
Anfield is an amazing ground. It is an amazing ground, steeped in history, great atmosphere, real old school ground, stuff like that, but being modernised as well at the same time.
Absolutely no difference between Anfield and Old Trafford, and I can tell you that because I've been to both stadiums. So you know, no difference.
See now at Anfield now you can abseil down off the back of the main stand now. They have an abseiling thing.
That's only for the locals after they've tried to get into the trophy room to lift some of the silverware. With their little rope coming out the back.
When they
practicing for getting the Tower Bridge and all.
When they announced it about a month ago, I was thinking, which is the bigger fall? What we've done this season or the abseiling off the back of the stand? God, horrific. And Ian back in. I'm wearing my Adidas hoodie. Good man.
Good man, Ian.
Adidas on the way. Talk to me. Man United takeover. Apparently the Qataris have submitted a bid this evening. All the soft bids.
Tomorrow it goes in tomorrow, doesn't it?
No, apparently this one went in this evening ahead. Tomorrow was the deadline.
Yeah, it hasn't been put in yet, but they've confirmed that it will go in ahead of tomorrow.
And apparently this is 5 billion.
Show me the fucking money. Making paper.
So what I'm hearing at the moment,
I told you already, you know this, right? I am fully, absolutely 112% gonna rock up on the first day of next season at Old Trafford with a little tea towel around my head and swinging a second one round with my arm, and I will be absolutely delighted when we drop 250 million in the summer on Frankie de Jong and Harry Kane and a couple of the boys, Jeremy Frimpong. Come on, fucking down, boys.
Everything you've hated about Top Bowley this season. What? Everything you've hated about Top Bowley this season. Let's go, baby. It's all good.
Us buying 3 black players and what Todd Bowley did are 2 completely different things, as you well know, right?
Plus, we tried
to sign. Yeah, but we've also tried to sign these 3 players before. They weren't reactionary signings that somebody else in the league tried to sign a player and we went, oh, quick, we better go and get them before they get them. Because that'd be bad news for us. That's it.
I just want to say to you as well, based on what I've seen tonight, and I know it's a one-off game type of thing, don't be paying that money for Frankie de Jong. I don't get it. It wasn't there tonight. It was lacking seriously.
Frankie knew exactly what he was doing. Wasn't going to put himself in the shop window against us, was he? Frankie knows what's going down this summer.
Acers new stand won't be open until the end of next season. Yeah, absolutely. It takes time. They're doing it. It's a work in progress. Nothing is shutting down. And Morris is saying Spurs have a great stadium. Yeah, absolutely, but have an empty cabinet. Oh, sorry. All of Kane's individual awards are probably in their self-obsessed box.
I hope El Hardy comes to us in the summer. We'll show him how to win trophies. Don't worry. Come
Watch
on
all
down,
the
Hardy.
football podcasts.
Come on down, Hardy.
Tell us this, the information coming out as we know it about the takeover bids is there's a Qatari one coming in, there's a Saudi one coming in, there's one coming in from the US, and then there's Jim Ratcliffe's one. Tell us this, obviously Elon Musk as well has been linked with a 4.5 billion bid as well.
Elon Musk isn't buying it.
Maybe that's the US one or something like that. I know he likes it.
Elon Musk ain't buying shit.
Okay. Have you got a preference?
Whoever has the most money.
Whoever has the most money and ambition.
Whoever has the most money and whoever's going to clear the debt, which we know, the Qataris are going to do. They're going to come in. There's going to be no debt with the Qatari bids. All the debt will be cleared and there will be money made available because the club makes sufficient money to be self-sufficient. The issue has been that so much money's been taken out of the club by the Glazers that there wasn't enough left in to put into what they wanted, i.e. the stadium and stuff like that. The stadium that's falling down, the one with all the trophies in it. Fucking company like that. Arsenal fans, are you fucking for real? Get the fuck... You sold your fucking stadium with all the fucking history in it to be a set of tower blocks with a fucking park in the middle of it. Suck my fat one, will you? Get the fuck out of here.
Joanne back in the comments. Who do you think is Arsenal's best player?
Bukayo Saka.
Really?
Absolutely.
Not a bad
do you differ? Would you differ? Who?
I do. Do you know what? I'm going to go for Ramsdale.
What?
I'm going for Ramsdale. As controversial as that might sound.
Listen, he's a great goalkeeper, but he's not Arsenal's best player. Come on now. He's absolutely not Arsenal's best player.
It's my show. It's the goalkeeper in me coming out. GP, Morris back in. Thomas Partey, Joanne, not Eddie and Keddy anyways. Yeah, well, Eddie gets an awful time, doesn't he?
You know when Joanne said player, she did mean the kind of player that Morris is talking about. Hey, player. Ooh, Teddy Long, baby.
we love you, Morris. And Joanne, lots of camel shit flying around.
Loads of it.
Loads of it. Tony Khan will step in there. He won't be allowed, he owns Fulham. Arsenal best player is a banana skin.
Yeah, they're going for a slip.
Absolutely.
Going for a slip, Arsenal. It's Saka. It's absolutely Saka. All day long and twice on a Sunday, it's Saka. Come on now. If you looked at Liverpool, right, and you look at Arsenal, and someone said you can pick one player from that Arsenal team, you don't take Ramsdale.
No, because I have Alisson and I have Quavane, so no. But that's a different situation. But if you
have Salah, but you still take Saka.
Yeah, well, we want to create competition there, so Saka would be good from the bench.
Yeah, but you take Saka because he's the best player at Arsenal.
Okay.
Why are people fucking with me tonight? Someone fucking...
Go on back in. I'll tell you who Arsenal's best player is. Kieran Tierney. Bloody Kieran Tierney. Oh, and what club did he come from? Hey? Kieran Tierney is not Arsenal's best player. He's a decent
He sure
player.
Isn't. He's not even Arsenal's best left back. So don't be showing yourself up to him, will you?
Shots fired. Morris in there. Tierney is crocked every year. Can't be him. Yeah, absolutely. Will we do a few bets?
It often, dazzles me. Shall I use that? Pardon the pun. It dazzles me when I hear people linking certain players with clubs, and then you look at their injury history and you're like, really? I heard somebody during the week saying United should absolutely go out and make sure they get N'Golo Kante, and I was going, kid hasn't kicked the ball about 9 months. Or what are you fucking talking about? Like, if this was 5 years ago and Leicester were after winning the league title Oh, sign the boy up. The power of pancakes, the power of positivity. The
That's
fourth
it. The
member of the
new
New
day.
Day. Give it to me. But like now, kid hasn't kicked the ball in about 9 months and someone wants to throw 30 or 40 million at and go, can't they? Stop, will you? That'd be like someone coming in saying, you know what, need a left back. I'll go and get Kieran Tierney. Why? You'd be better off getting Mrs. fucking Tierney because she's fit more than he is.
He was linked with us, and I was thinking, I seen him being linked the other day with Barcelona. I've never been as happier.
Who was linked with Barcelona? Kieran Tierney.
No, N'Golo Kante.
Oh my, sorry. I thought you'd really
No,
gone
not
for it
kidding.
there. I thought you
No,
and
not
Warren had been
Tierney.
sharing the Jamaican Woodbines this evening. Fucking hell. Pass the Dutchie on the left hand side.
And then, oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's
Jesus.
the Fulham one. Joanne's back in. I'm going to punch Arteta if he don't play Kieran Tierney. Fuck me, what planet are you on? He's quality. He is. There's no doubt he's a quality player, but
He's made of fucking paper mache.
that's it.
That's a
in
bit
the
of
milk.
a problem, Joanne. That's a bit of a fucking problem. Let's not lie here.
Casemiro was greater than De Jong. I think that goes
Completely different player.
Saying,
Bring something completely different. That's like taking out Thomas Partey and putting in Jorginho. That's a fucking real bad idea. Real bad. That's like taking out a square and swapping it with a triangle. It's not gonna work, lads.
Joanne reckons we're all on drugs tonight. I'm sure of it.
Not one of me the whole life. In the 38 years I'm on this earth, I've never taken one. Thankfully, I don't need it.
Well, we can be guaranteed here now that Acers is definitely not a Liverpool man. United will be selling Fred and McTominay to Liverpool. We'll be desperate for midfielders next season. We are desperate for midfielders, but we're not that desperate. And I know Darzler wouldn't give away Fred that easy to the competition.
You'd absolutely take Scott McTominay, though, wouldn't you? Klopp would love him.
Like your hashtag positive pancakes.
That's the stuff, You take McTominay, wouldn't
you? No.
You wouldn't?
No.
Who does he not get in ahead of?
Doesn't get in ahead of any of our midfielders.
Stop the fucking lights now, will you?
Who does he get in ahead of?
Jordan Henderson, all day long and twice on a Sunday.
Not a chance. Captain Fantastic. Not a chance.
Stop, will you? Oh my God.
Joanne's back in. United's ground looks like it's made of paper mache. They're coming at you tonight, aren't they?
It's not though, Joanne, and I'll tell you how I know this, right? I'll tell you how I know for sure it's not made of paper mache. Because I've got a big fat hole and I sit in my chair in Old Trafford and I never break it. So it's definitely not made of fucking paper mache. I know that for fucking sure.
And Ian Hodgins in De Jong, Da Hong. I'm not too sure what that is.
We're missing the pun there, I think, are we?
Yeah, we are, absolutely. Let's talk about Beat the Bookie then. Let's talk about our bets.
You talk about yours first.
I will. I'll start us off. I've some nice odds for you this week again.
Have you?
I wasn't too far away last weekend either.
Did you get any up?
So I came very, very close. Very close, because I had Mo Salah and I had Ivan Toney and one or two others. I think I just missed.
I got it up a few times last weekend, but I didn't get any bets done.
Right, so I'll kick it off. I went with 3 draws.
3 draws. Hang on. Yeah. Wait. Let me pick the games.
Okay.
Right. 3 draws. Here we go. Fixtures. Okay, you went, because I know what you're like. You went Chelsea, Southampton.
Nope.
Oh, you're killing me here. Right, you went, oh yeah, here we go. You definitely went United and Leicester.
Nope.
Right, I'm done. Go on.
Right, I went with Brighton, Fulham.
Okay.
I went with Everton, Leeds.
Okay.
And the controversial one, I'm sure, Aston Villa, Arsenal. And those 3 draws gives you 47-1.
40, nearly 50-1. We'll get out of bed for that, right?
Not bad at all, sure, isn't it?
You bet we will.
And then I went with your favourite bet, both teams to score and result. So I went with Liverpool to beat Newcastle. I went with Man City to beat... Who are they playing? Forest, is it?
Man City are playing Forest, they sure are, yeah.
Forest. Yeah. I went with Chelsea and I went with Brentford.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, that's not bad, is it?
215 to 1.
Wow, they're big odds, yeah.
Nice
They're
odds,
big
isn't it?
old odds, no. Yeah, they're big old odds, man.
Absolutely. And then I went with my anytime goal scorer bet. And I went with Darwizzy.
Have you got Ivan Toney or not?
Ivan Toney's in my bet every week. Penalty taker.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
So I've got Darwin Núñez, Darwizzy.
Do you know what gets on me? Sorry, hang on. I have to interrupt you for a second because Darwin Núñez is part of my rant. Not Darwin in particular. Monday night you play Everton?
Yeah.
Scuffs across the box, right? Pickford comes with his little T-Rex arms, misses the ball completely, and Salah knocks it into an empty goal, right?
Pickford was running out to get Virgil. Virgil wasn't there.
Right? They give him an assist, right? What is that about? Which then slants the stats completely. Now, listen, I also have a serious issue with it when, Fred is in centre midfield and he knocks the ball to Rashford. Rashford goes by for it, puts it in the top bin, and underneath Rashford's goal it says assist by Fred. You're like, what do you mean assist? He passed him the fucking ball. It's not like he created the opportunity for him. He gave him the ball on the left wing. He could tuck in pass forward him and bend it into the bin. Like, why are we giving assists like this? Does that make sense? It has to make sense.
Are you talking? You're getting into this area of phases of play, are you?
Well, like, surely to God, at least it's got to be, somewhere where you. I don't know how we're going to have to look at it. Isn't there a way of looking at do they call it serious chance creation? Is that what it's called? So if it's down as a serious chance and they score, that's an assist, right? Like tonight, Fred puts the ball into an area where Rashford can go on and score from it. It's an actual assist. But passing it square 6 yards in the centre circle isn't a fucking assist, lads. Let's stop this. As much as Núñez's ball across the box wasn't an assist, and then it falls at the feet of Salah and he knocks it in the goal, and all of a sudden Núñez is going, yes, got an assist. Yes, here we go. Goal involvement. Yes. Higher up in the XG rating. Lads, stop. Fucking hell, man. Who thinks up this shit? They have to be an Arsenal fan, right?
Our good friends at Opta Index. Our good friends at Opta Index. Right, so I gave you the did I give you the both teams scoring result?
You sure did.
I gave you that one. Oh yeah, so my anytime goal scorer. So Núñez.
Goal scorers, yeah.
The big Viking himself, Erling Haaland. Ivan Toney, of course, for Brentford. And one Marcus Rashford, who's banging form at the moment. Unbelievable form at the moment.
I wouldn't say that's amazing odds, is it?
What would you think?
Right, well, City are away, so Haaland's probably like 6-4. Rashford's at home, he's probably like evens. Tony's at home, he's probably like evens or 6-5. And the other one was Darwin Núñez, he's probably about 2s, like 16s.
44 to 1.
44? No way.
Yeah. 44 to 1. Well worth
it. That's how bad Paddy Power think Darwin Núñez is, by the way. They're giving you 44 to 1 that he will not score at the weekend against Newcastle.
He's my Aston Villa Arsenal draw on that bet. There you go.
Quality.
And as Zeno always says, gamble sensibly. Yeah, actually gamble aware and gamble sensibly always.
If you can't gamble sensibly, make sure to do it with someone else's fucking money.
That's it, absolutely. Roman Reigns' bet of the weekend, easy money.
We got the chamber this weekend.
Is it this weekend, is it?
Could be, yeah. Could be.
Yeah, because they normally give you 5 weeks into Mania, don't they? Morris back in. What about the assist they give for players being fouled? XG, by the way, is the worst statistic I've ever seen. Put it in the bin.
I'm telling you.
Warren, XG is definitely something thought up by someone who has no idea about football. Yeah, I think a lot of these stats are, you know.
An absolute Arsenal fan, Warren. You're right. It's that was definitely thought up by an Arsenal fan. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
He's giving you an awful time tonight, Warren, isn't he? Did you do a few bets for us, or did you? No.
It's been very, very busy around here. I won't lie.
Absolutely.
I've got a set of chains between me two legs, and I'm dangling a ball after me, and all I'm working that hard at the minute, man.
Yeah, and Acers Wednesday afternoon money in the bank tickets. Yeah, absolutely. We're all over it. And Warren, absolutely legit, pointless stat. Yeah, it is an absolutely pointless stat. Absolutely.
Yeah,
a lot of these
right, Warren.
Absolutely pointless, you know. So that's it, my friend. Another show on the bag. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Please go and subscribe to all the channels in the chat. Cheapy Productions Podcast, Warren's Team Talk, knocking it out of the park. Any others are on Del Boy Gunner TV, of course, and Kyle Walsh Gunner as well. Subscribe to all these channels, folks. They're absolutely fantastic. Henry, I think, at the top of the hour as well. Henry's channel as well. He's knocking it out of the park. His subs are starting to grow now for him as well. So please support everyone that has podcasts and channels and stuff like that. Big community here. We're trying to grow.
Big shout out to everyone who went in 2 foot on Dazzler this evening, as if my day wasn't bad enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone, and he took it well. They were coming at you from all angles, weren't they? But you took it well, and you answered everything, so it was all good. We might have to change the name of this show to, you know, Dazzler's Q&A or something like that. You know, I'm just here turning cogs here. You know, as they say. Ian's in here. Support them all. Absolutely support them all. We appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight. We look forward to the weekend's football. Don't forget to check out the Newcastle-Liverpool preview that I did as well. And in the morning, Fantasy Chance, or check it out, the Fantasy Football Show. Dazzler will be appearing on it this week with Morris. Check it out. Fantastic show if you're into your fantasy
I got to do that one next. I'm queued up.
There, he's all queued up.
It's all going here, man.
Dazzler,
I'll get some sleep eventually tonight.
Going on a mad one. Until next time, folks, an absolute pleasure.